All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Dakota here with Luxvoni.com, coming at you live today with the one and only Sales Funnel Stacking Masterclass. This is lesson number 3 of the Masterclass. And on today's video, we're going to be talking about the mid-ticket webinar sales funnel, which is the second step in your value ladder after the tripwire funnel. So we're going to talk all about webinars. We're going to go through some, give you some inspiration on some, and give you some tools and resources that you can use to build a high converting webinar. Little backstory on me. I've been running webinars for years and years and years. There is a video on our actual YouTube channel called the 8-Figure Webinar Framework. We're going to talk more about the funnel and all of that on today's video, but if you want, after this video, you can scroll over here and this will teach you how to build the framework, the scripting of a high converting webinar. I've built webinars that have gone on to do $1 million a month. Some of them have done $500,000 a month, others have done $300,000 a month, but my record till date is $1 million a month webinar. Now this webinar did sell high ticket services via a sales team. So there's some webinars in there that you can learn about that are automated that, did $500,000 a month as well, but that will be a resource for you. Now, what I want to do in today's video is talk about the webinar funnel. What does it look like? How does it work? And I'm going to show you my webinar funnel that went on to do $1 million a month for 13, 14 months straight when it comes to cash collected. And I'm going to walk you through the architecture of that funnel so you can see what type of webinar funnel you need for your mid-ticket of your value ladder in your business. Now, how I want to do that is I want to start by taking you through this funnel altogether. So if we go to Google, we just type in Luxvoni Web Class, you'll see that we pop up right here, register for free. So I want to walk you through this funnel. Now, what we have here is we're pushing traffic to this funnel. Of course, I use VSLs. As you can see on the page before, we run a lot of paid traffic everywhere. This is a VSL funnel, but we run a lot of traffic to our webinar funnel and our retargeting campaigns via Facebook. So for cold traffic, we push them to a VSL, but we do leverage our webinars still to this day for retargeting. But if we go to this web class, here's what we have. The first page of this funnel. What you have to understand here is the goal of the first page is to not sell your product or your service. The goal of this page is to sell some intrigue bias, some social proof bias, to get the person to opt in and click through for the free training. I see so many entrepreneurs get ahead of themselves here and they want to talk about their product, their service, and all this stuff. And then what ends up happening is people don't convert because it's salesy and it's not selling the next step in the funnel. So remember, every step in the funnel is to sell the next step of the funnel. It's not to sell your product or services. It's to sell the next step. So keep that in mind. As you can see with this webinar funnel, very bespoke, very high end. This is a funnel that I designed by myself in Photoshop. It's very aesthetic. It's got video production behind it. Looks really clean. And it really shows customers what it's like to be a customer before they're ever a customer. Now, at the top of this, as you can see, we have our logo here. We have register, support, contact, and register again. Of course, if you hit any of these, it just pops up that squeeze page so we can get their name and email address to opt in there. As you can see, we have a pre-headline, attention all entrepreneurs, register for this free web class right now to see how others are increasing their business's revenue by 2x, 3x, and possibly even 4x with complete predictability by implementing this one high converting sales funnel, and how you can too. Post headline here reads, even if you're not a leader in your local marketplace, even if you have no past experience in marketing your business, and even if you know nothing about sales funnels, with that big call to action above the fold. So as you can see, there's nothing that they can't get to right here. The entire part of this is to sell that CTA. So you got to make sure that this is above the fold. Then we're leveraging Charlie Munger's 25 continental biases, got some social proof and authority biases of some places that we have been featured on at Luxvoni.com. And now we're going to go into that intrigue bias and talk about what they're going to learn on this web class. Secret number 1, they're going to learn about the proven 8-figure sales funnel architecture. They're going to learn the exact sales funnel that took us from an idea with 0 revenue to over 8 figures in revenue. Secret number 2, they're going to learn about the ultimate marketing automation plan that will allow them to achieve a 3 to 6x ROAS on all of their ad spend with their sales funnel. And then the third secret on this masterclass is we're going to show them how to ethically steal all of their competitors' customers and drive those customers right into their individual funnels, which is super unique. Now, below that section, now that we got the intrigue out of the way, they're getting some context on what they're going to learn on this web class. We repeat that call to action. After we repeat that call to action, we go into some social proof. Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, Brad Lee over at Lightspeed VT, Dan, which is Tony Robbins' former sales director, Russ Darrow, one of the biggest dealerships in the U.S. They got like 30 locations. And then down here, we go into more of a long-form sales letter. And what we want to do here is we want to explain the difference between a website and a sales funnel, right? So that's what we do here. What you will learn on this web class, and then it goes into the 8-figure sales funnel versus the 0-figure website. And it has some leaded, loaded, assumptive questions here to really get past that croc brain and into the limbic and neocortex side of the brain, emotional and logical, so we can drive them into that opt-in. And it starts with this. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a website? And if so, how's it doing for you? Is your website feeding your sales executives with 7 to 10 quality appointments per day? Is your website motivating herds of people to come into your physical locations, begging for you to service them at any cost? Or is your website automating high-ticket sales on demand by the turn of a switch? Well, let's face it. 10 years ago, websites were the greatest things on the planet when it came to growing our businesses, right? Remember the days when you could just put up a website and sell your product or promote your service and just watch business as it started pouring in? Yeah, well, that was 10 years ago, and over the last 10 years, competition has gotten stronger. Ad costs have gone through the roof, and the same websites that used to make us money are now losing us money on each and every sale. And if it hasn't yet, and this hasn't happened to you, it will happen to you soon. If this is happening to you right now, you're not alone. Let's face it. The website boom, it's officially over. In some markets, they're dying a slow death, and in other markets, they are already dead. So that is the bad news. But the good news is, just like Netflix replaced Blockbuster when they died, and Ubers replaced the taxis as they died, the website has been replaced by something we like to call the sales funnel. So what are sales funnels and how do they work? Well, a lot of that depends on which type of business you own. There are certain types of sales funnels for authors, consultants, speakers, and coaches. There's other funnels for service-based businesses, and there's some funnels for product-based businesses. This means whether you are selling an info product or supplements, chiropractor, real estate, automotive, motorcycle, software, coaching, retail, high-ticket services, insurance, or whatever it may be, there is a chance that there's already a funnel out there that is working for you. Now we have that CTA again, and then we go into some more social proof and authority bias. Hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs in all different industries are ditching their websites for sales funnels. We have Tony Robbins, Dollar Beer Club, Brendan Burchard, TikTok, Infusionsoft, Prezi, BarkBox, Squarespace, Sam Ovens, ClickFunnels, dentists, attorneys, dealerships, chiropractors, real estate professionals, Caitlin Powell, Dean Graciasi, Kevin David, Secret MLM Hacks, Garrett White, and of course Frank Hearn. So chances are if they're scrolling through this page and they're deciding whether or not they should check out this training and they see all this, there's a chance that they're going to recognize a couple of names, if not a lot of these names, or maybe one of these names that relates with their industry and what they do. Now, at the final end of this registration page, it says, my question to you is, are you ready to take a sales funnel for a little test drive yourself? Today, we're doing a web class on one of our most popular 8-figure sales funnels, plus we will be giving you the opportunity to see what type of funnel will work for your specific offer, price point, and business for completely free. If you'd like to attend this web class, go ahead and register for today's upcoming web class right now, and we'll also give you $11,000 worth of marketing resources, tools, and training for completely free to help you launch a successful sales funnel for your business just for completing the web class in its full entirety with no strings attached. Next web class starts in. We got a little countdown timer here. Register is the call to the CTA there, the call to action. And then we have a little bio on me because I'm going to be the presenter on that web class. And then we have terms and conditions and all that. So that is the example of a long form registration page for a webinar. Now, this layout was taken from ClickFunnels.com. ClickFunnels.com is, of course, a SaaS provider. I'm a done-for-you provider. We're partners with ClickFunnels. We work with all those guys. So instead of recreating the wheel, here we go again. We took something that was already working, we changed it, we made it our own, and then I built my presentation using my webinar format and blending a little bit of Russell in, blending a little bit of Jason Fladlin in, a little bit of Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, and Tony Robbins. And guess what we got? $1 million a month webinar for that mid-ticket in our value ladder. So that is the registration page. Now remember, all these call to actions don't go to our site. They don't go anywhere else. They go to the squeeze page. So if you click any CTA through this entire page, that is the only option that they can do. We're driving them to the next step in the funnel, nothing else. So once they hit register, register for this free spot, if you enter the incorrect email, you will not receive the $11,000 in free bonuses offered on today's web class. So that's a little trick you can do, leverage that bonus so you get real data, real information, and you don't have people just blowing through it with fake email addresses, right? So as you can see here, we got name and then we got email address. Type that back in for you. Secure my spot now. And now we're going to progress to the broadcast page. Now, this funnel is a little bit of a hybrid. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. In this particular example, we make the broadcast page the social proof and application page. And I'm going to show you how we do that. So what happens here is they come to this page. You're only one funnel away from completely transforming your business. Don't believe me, I wouldn't expect you to. Just scroll down below to make up your own mind. And then they go to the actual webinar. Now, my webinar is super long. This took me 6.5 months to script and build, 240 hours, and put a lot of time into it, which is why I've got the result. Now, if you want to learn more about how I structured this and why it works so well, check out that masterclass on our YouTube channel in the playlist section that is all about how to build an 8-figure webinar, and that'll help you with this. But as you can see here, we have a broadcast page. I do not claim that this webinar is live. I've tested it with Webinar Jam. I've tested it with EverWebinar. This funnel converts the best for us. It'll probably convert the best for you, but the days of using all these little tricks to stimulate the chat to make something look live that it's not, people aren't stupid. You know, it's not really a hype anymore. They just want the content. They have a current situation. They have a desired situation. Your training bridges that gap. If you do a good job, you're in good shape. So here's the actual webinar. Again, webinars are typically behind slides. I'm not on camera like I am in the corner here with this video. I'm just behind slides, but that'll give you some context of that. Now, when we scroll down here, what are we selling? I'm not automating an offer because these services started at $8,000, right? $8,000 over 3 months. We used a webinar to sell done for you and done with you webinars. Pretty crazy, right? Well, it worked super well. So I can't automate that offer. So I had to rotate back and make sure that this webinar fed salespeople so we could sell these high ticket services. So one of the things that we use to do that is, hey, this is typically valued at $1,500. You claim your call right now and schedule below. So they go down here and they can schedule below. Now the next thing is putting your head in the prospect of, or putting your twist and putting your marketing in the mind of prospects that are visiting this page, right? So as I get to this point and as I'm building this, I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. What else would prompt them to schedule a call? What objections would they have right now that would prevent them from scheduling that call? So I wrote all of his objections down, timing, price, sales call, whatever it may be, and then I reverse engineered those and pre-framed all those directly below this video. So as you can see, meet the elite who have partnered with Luxvoni, social proof bias. Then we show them previews of funnels that we built, Kent Clother, Ed Milet, sellops.com. They scroll down some more. They see Brooke from the Life Coach School. They see this massive e-commerce brand. They scroll down some more. They see some other funnel examples. Then they see an endorsement from the senior copywriter at clickfunnels.com endorsing us on webinars. Then they see Jordan. Then they see Brad. Then they see Tony Robbins, the sales director, Russ, Nick Cooper, the celebrity vocal coach for Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Rach, our in-house counsel or attorney. And then we scroll down some more, social proof of funnels. And we just repeat this process over and over and over to make it seem like they're out of their mind for not scheduling this call. Just tons of social proof stacked on top of social proof, on top of social proof. It's just a long page. And then if they need references, here you go. Reach out to these people. reach out to these people. Here's their references. You can email them, so then we don't have to deal with that objection. So we pre-frame that. Some examples of some trainings that we've done here. Some social proof of screenshots. If they're still scrolling, they're probably a skeptic. So here's how we get past that. Some of the slide decks that we built for webinar presentations. My doctrine, kind of giving them some context of the true cost of working with Luxvoni. More social proof, more social proof, more social proof, press. So, and then we got scheduler down there at the bottom, and then more presentations that we built for venture capital firms and other companies when it comes to slides and webinar design. So there's that. So this is the example of that page. Now, what changes here? If you're selling a physical product, and let's say your physical product is $900 to $3,000, and you got a service that is $900 to $3,000 that you want to automate on this page without a salesperson. The only difference that's going to happen here is instead of having an application page like this, it's going to be a checkout page. So the credit card information will be right there, and then I would recommend stacking social proof below that page as well, which has helped with a lot of our clients' conversions. So you have the checkout page, their information, their credit card information, and then directly below that, just stack social proof like crazy. Ty Lopez does that. A lot of guys do it. So it works super well. So that's the only tweak here. However, if you want to do a webinar to feed a sales team or feed yourself with high quality appointments, here's the next step of this funnel. They click this, a pop-up happens. This is Calendly, just custom CSS here. Just a little bit of code there. They scroll down here. They click a time and date. They hit confirm. Then we turn this into the application page, name, email address, mobile number, website URL. Which of the following best describes you? Do you have a marketing budget? Please share anything else to help us prepare for our meeting, and then send text message notifications to X. Now this syncs up with the rep's calendar, so if there's any conflicting appointments, they can of course see that. The rep gets all this imported in the CRM through Zapier. With this webinar, we were using ClickFunnels and Pipedrive. Now we use this in ClickFunnels, but it pushes all that data to our CRM, which is hosted in Go High Level. So as you can see here, schedule the event, confirmed with Antwan Webb, and then after that appointment is confirmed, we hit a thank you page. On this thank you page, we give them some context of what to expect on the call. Hey, we don't take call of people who are driving around, jumping from terminal to terminal in airports. We need your undivided attention. Make sure you accept the calendar invite, all that great stuff. Just a short 1:30 video there. Then directly below this, we make sure they accept the invite from the email that they just got from us. We make sure that they join our Facebook group community so we can build that audience. We make sure that they watch some of our videos of us building funnels live. Like in this particular video, this is my team in Photoshop building a custom funnel from scratch, which is super cool. And then down here, we just go back to talking about, pre-framing objections, really getting that intrigue, really setting them up to where they show up for that call, prizing ourselves in a way that makes us look like the prize, and they should be lucky to even have the opportunity to schedule a call with us. So there's all of that. So it's a big power frame, big prize frame set in this, but that's the thank you page. So if you're automating your offer, only difference is that page on the back will be that checkout page. We'll stack that social proof through that checkout page. And then this page will say, hey, thanks for your order. Your order confirmation number is here. We're sending you an email. By the way, while you're here, go ahead and join our Facebook group. Here's your username and password, or here's your shipping confirmation, or whatever it may be. So it doesn't really change here. But webinars are very simple. They basically consist of the same thing. You have a webinar registration page. You have a broadcast page. You have a checkout page. There's a webinar for a product-based business, and then you have a thank you page after that. And then for a service-based business that, let's say you want to sell high-ticket services that are over $3,000, and you want to do that with a sales team, only difference is registration page, broadcast page, and social proof, long-form social proof page. Pop up for the scheduler. Let them pick the time and date first, and then turn the scheduler into the application to where it's all in one thing. There's not a separate page. And then once they book the appointment, boom, they hit a confirmation page that expects them what to expect when it comes to their consultation. And you can follow this page, for example. but that is the example of a webinar funnel. So what you want to do here is you want to run this in your mid-ticket. So if you're automating an offer or you want to sell it over the phone like we did, this is your mid-ticket offer in your funnel. You need that tripwire that we talked about on the front. Then you get these people in the door, you build rapport, they're exposed to you. Then the next step is we're going to get them to this webinar, deliver an immense amount of value, follow my proven 8-figure framework that you can find on the YouTube channel, script that bad boy out, have some fun in the process. And the real cool thing about webinars is the reason why I love them and have been such a fan of them is I'm obsessed with the psychology of humans, right? And if you look at like preloading mechanisms, like for example, if you think about movie theaters, it's so unique the psychology behind the movie theater, right? So let's take a little journey together real quick. You're sitting down, you're hanging out with your significant other, you're watching TV, you see a commercial, you see an ad, you lean over, you say, hey, we got to go see that movie. 2 days later, Friday hits, you guys jump in your car, you drive down to the movie theater, you get to the front where the ticket box is, you go in and you pay $40 for 2 tickets to see a movie that is only 2 hours long. Well, after you get your tickets, they've self-liquidated their spend, they've made a little money there, then you walk in and guess the next thing that you see? The concession stand. A movie's no good without popcorn, drinks, and candy and everything in between. So now they order bump you and get that spend set up. Just like the tripwire funnel. Remember, you come in, order bump, order bump, order bump, order bump. Movie theater is just the same thing. And then once you get past the concession stand, now you spent $40 on tickets. If you're like me, maybe $65 on food. And now you finally get to the back. You give the guy your tickets. You go to the theater and you sit down in the theater to wait 15 minutes for the movie to start. You sit down and you see all these movies, one after another, one after another, one after another. Trailers preloading you on new movies that are coming out. Some of those movies look good. Some of those movies you're like, I don't know about all that. And then some of those movies you look over to your significant other and you say, wow, that's a great movie. We got to see that. We got to write that down. December 27th, we coming, baby, right? And then what ends up happening? The movie starts, and whether you like the movie or not, you are already sold on going back to the theater to attend another movie. Crazy, right? That's how you social engineer your way to the top of $1 billion industry. So how do you social engineer and preload yourself in your marketing? It's the same freaking thing, except it's 10 times cheaper because it's internet traffic. So you as an entrepreneur or a founder, you've only got 24 hours in a day. And I often use the analogy, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. So what separates somebody like Oprah Winfrey, who's got a $1.72 billion net worth, and someone like me, for example, who may have a $5 or $10 million net worth? Well, the difference of it is Oprah is evergreened. She's not trading time for money. She's evergreen 24/7, running on all kinds of networks, just printing money on demand. So my question to you is, how do you take time out of the equation? How do you set yourself up to where you're running 24/7 for pennies on the dollar and time is no longer in the equation? And that's what a webinar will allow you to do. It'll allow you to take yourself, the founder, the entrepreneur, and it'll allow you to take yourself and evergreen yourself 24/7 over a pre-recorded webinar to where you're running nonstop for pennies on the dollar. So with webinars, if you think about events, events, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, events are hard. I've ran the marketing for Les Brown's events. I've ran a lot of events, and they're super profitable, but there is some overhead to them, right? You've got venue costs, you've got traffic, you got to get people in the door. So I want you to think about a webinar as a virtual event without all the overhead, with the perks of it being 10 times cheaper to get people in the door. So it's the same thing. With Tony Robbins, you come in, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, they push all this traffic in to get people in for this event, and then they have a closer come on the stage at the end of the event, and they close you on some high-ticket offer, and then you run to the back of the room and you sign up for a program about Airbnb or whatever it may be. It's the same thing with webinars, except it's virtual, it's 10 times cheaper to run, there's not a lot of overhead, and it will create a system that just generates consistent sales and consistent leads for you and your business. That's why I love these things. I literally built an entire career around these. I've built webinars that have done ridiculous numbers. Literally one webinar changed my entire life. So it'll do the same for you if you get serious about this and you really deploy it into your business. So that is that second value ladder. That is the second stack that every entrepreneur and business owner needs. You can do a VSL, you can do a video sales letter and make it a shorter webinar. but you still want to pre-record it. It's still going to be a webinar funnel, right? But this is very important. Now, on the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a high-ticket phone call funnel, which is the top of your value ladder. And we're going to progress what that looks like. So far, up to this point, you understand you need a tripwire funnel for your cold traffic. Now, we're the next step in the value ladder. You need a webinar for your warm traffic. And on the next video, at the very top of that value ladder, we're going to talk about the funnel that you need to deploy for that hot traffic. People that are engaging, exposing, buying products, they're rocking and rolling, and we'll teach you all about that. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's a short one, but a good one. So enjoy the day, be great, and remember, you're just one funnel away. Talk to you guys on the next one. See you soon.